Welcome to our deep dive into StrengthsFinder 2.0. Today, we're going to be dissecting audio excerpts from Tom Rath's book
Oh, cool.
to help you understand this powerful tool for identifying and maximizing your unique talents.
All right.
We'll explore real-life examples of how people leverage their strengths and give you actionable strategies to apply in your own life.
Awesome.
Think of it as a shortcut to unlocking your potential,
Okay.
maybe even discovering hidden talents you never knew you had.
Love that. What's fascinating about StrengthsFinder is that
Yeah.
it moves beyond those generic self-help tropes
Right.
and offers a framework for understanding your innate abilities, those
Excellent.
things that come naturally to you and that you might even take for granted.
Okay, so let's start by unpacking the fundamental difference between talents and strengths,
Okay.
because I think a lot of people use these terms interchangeably.
Right.
But in the world of StrengthsFinder,
Mm-hmm.
they have distinct meanings.
Absolutely.
Right.
StrengthsFinder makes a clear distinction. Talents are your natural predispositions.
Mm-hmm.
Think of them as the raw materials you're born with.
Right.
They're the things you do effortlessly.
Yeah.
Almost instinctively.
Got it.
Strengths, on the other hand,
Yeah.
are developed talents.
So, like,
They emerge when you consciously invest time and energy
right?
into honing those natural abilities.
Yeah.
Kind of like taking a rough diamond
Mm-hmm.
and polishing it into a brilliant gem.
So it's not enough to just know what you're good at.
Exactly.
You have to actively cultivate those talents
Yeah,
to truly transform them into strengths.
exactly. And StrengthsFinder helps you pinpoint
Okay.
your dominant talent themes,
Okay.
like communication, responsibility, strategic thinking, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Right. Right.
These themes act like a blueprint,
Okay.
providing a framework for understanding where your greatest potential lies.
That's a great analogy. It's like finding the instruction manual
Right.
for your own unique success formula. And speaking of blueprints, one of the examples from the book really brought this to life for me. They talked about achievers
Mhm.
and how this talent theme
Yeah.
can manifest as a whisper of discontent.
Oh, wow.
Could you elaborate on that a bit?
That's such a vivid image.
Yeah.
It perfectly captures the internal drive achievers feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily a negative thing,
Right.
more like a constant urge to
Right.
accomplish something tangible.
So like,
Remember Melanie Kay,
oh yeah.
the nurse who mentally racks up points throughout her day to feel successful?
She was so relatable.
Right.
It wasn't about external validation for her.
Mm-hmm.
It was about that internal sense of accomplishment
Exactly.
she got from checking things off her list.
Right.
But honestly, haven't we all felt that way at some point?
Oh, yeah.
Like we need to be constantly producing or achieving
Yeah.
to feel valuable.
Absolutely. Many talent themes can manifest in ways that drive us,
Right.
sometimes even creating challenges, if we're not aware of how they operate.
Mm.
And that brings us to the critical concept of
Mm.
managing lesser talents and blind spots.
Okay.
Because, let's be realistic,
No.
no one is naturally gifted at everything.
Right.
But,
And I imagine this becomes especially apparent in work settings,
Mhm.
where we're often expected to wear multiple hats
Mhm.
and tackle a wide range of tasks,
Yeah.
some of which
Yeah,
might not play to our strengths.
right.
So how do we manage those areas
Okay,
where we might lack natural talent?
that's a great question.
Should we try to improve them?
Right.
Or is it more about finding workarounds?
StrengthsFinder offers some really practical advice here.
Okay.
Instead of trying to be a jack of all trades,
Right.
which can be exhausting
Yeah.
and ultimately ineffective,
Right.
the book suggests focusing on your strengths
Okay.
and finding strategies to manage those lesser talents. So,
Yeah.
like, one approach is, if possible, to delegate tasks that
Mhm.
require talents you lack.
So if you're not a details person,
Exactly.
maybe hand off the spreadsheet work
Right.
to someone who thrives on that kind of precision.
Exactly.
Delegate, don't deliberate. Right.
Exactly. Another strategy is
Yeah.
to implement systems
Mm-hmm.
to support areas where you might struggle.
Right.
If organization isn't your forte,
Right. Yeah.
using calendars,
Oh, yeah.
reminders,
Yeah.
or project management tools can be a lifesaver.
Oh, tell me about it. My calendar is basically my lifeline.
Right.
Without it, I'd be lost in a sea of to-dos
Yeah.
and missed appointments.
The third strategy,
Nice.
and I think this one is especially powerful, is to partner
Right.
with individuals whose strengths complement your weaknesses.
You know, that resonates with me so much.
Oh, great.
I have a fantastic colleague, Amanda,
Mm.
who has this amazing includer talent.
Okay.
She's incredible at making sure everyone feels valued and heard.
That's great.
which is something I sometimes struggle with.
Yeah.
I get so focused on the task at hand that I can forget to check in with everyone on a personal level.
Yeah.
So by working closely with Amanda,
Okay.
we make sure that our team dynamics are strong and everyone feels included.
Right.
It's honestly been a game changer.
That's a perfect example of how understanding each other's strengths can create a more harmonious and successful work environment. It's not about covering up our weaknesses, but rather about finding ways to leverage our collective strengths to achieve common goals.
But what about blind spots? I've heard that term used in the context of StrengthsFinder, and I'm not entirely sure what it means.
Blind spots are those unintended negative consequences that can arise from our strengths, especially if we're not aware of how they might impact others. For example, someone with a strong command talent, while being decisive and direct, might unintentionally come across as too assertive or bossy.
Leaving others feeling steamrolled.
So even our strengths
Yeah.
can have downsides if we're not careful about how we use them.
Exactly.
It's all about self-awareness and understanding the potential pitfalls of our own strengths.
Precisely. And that's where self-awareness becomes crucial in part 2 of the book. Rath actually delves deeper into specific tips for managing each talent theme's potential blind spots.
That sounds super helpful.
Yeah.
But before we get there, can we talk about StrengthsFinder 2.0? What's new and improved in this version?
Well, the assessment itself is faster and more precise, which means you get a more accurate analysis of your talents.
Got it.
But what's really interesting is the introduction of Strengths Insights.
So it's not just a generic description of your top 5 talent themes.
Not at all. These insights offer a customized analysis of how your talents specifically play out in your life. Got it.
They're like a personalized guide to understanding your unique strengths and how to make the most of them.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal StrengthsFinder coach in your pocket.
I love that analogy.
The book also mentions a comprehensive strengths discovery and action planning guide.
Oh, yeah.
What does that entail?
That guide is packed with valuable resources, like your top 5 theme report, 50 ideas for action tailored to your themes, and a strength-based action plan for setting goals and applying your strengths over the coming weeks, months, and even the year ahead.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's dive into some specific talent themes from the excerpts. I think it'll be helpful to hear how these talents manifest in real-life scenarios and explore actionable tips for leveraging them. What do you think?
That's a great idea. It's all about making this knowledge practical and applicable.
Exactly. Let's start with a talent theme that's likely relatable to many of our listeners. Learner. The book defines it as a constant drive to learn and acquire new knowledge and skills.
And it emphasizes that it's not about becoming an expert in everything, but rather about the joy of the learning process itself. That insatiable curiosity that drives you to explore new subjects, delve deeper into existing ones, and constantly expand your horizons.
It's like that feeling of excitement you get when you stumble upon a new topic.
Oh, yeah.
You just can't wait to learn more about it.
Exactly.
I can definitely relate to that.
That's great.
The book shares the example of Danny M., the managing editor who took up tap dancing. Simply to satisfy his need to learn something new.
That's awesome.
He wasn't looking to become a professional tap dancer. He simply enjoyed the challenge. And satisfaction of mastering a new skill.
And then there's Miles, whose teachers recognized his sponge-like capacity for absorbing information from a young age. They described him as a sponge for learning, highlighting the natural curiosity and eagerness that often defines the learner talent.
It's like some people just have that innate thirst for knowledge. It's almost like a superpower.
Absolutely. And the ideas for action section offers some really practical tips for learners. One suggestion is to identify your preferred learning style. Do you learn best by teaching, reflecting hands-on experience, research, and then create opportunities to learn in that way?
So if you're someone who learns best by doing, maybe take a workshop or volunteer for a project that allows you to apply new knowledge in a practical setting.
Another great tip is to track your learning progress, to celebrate milestones. And stay motivated.
Yeah.
It's like giving yourself mini rewards along the way to keep that learning momentum going.
That's such a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to try that.
Awesome.
Okay, so we've talked about the learner talent, which is all about that love of acquiring knowledge.
Yeah.
But what about those who are driven by the need to dissect and understand that knowledge?
Okay.
You know, the ones who are constantly asking why.
Right.
And seeking the logic behind things.
You're talking about the analytical talent, right?
Yeah.
Those with this talent have a natural ability to objectively analyze information.
Okay.
Identify patterns.
Right.
And draw logical conclusions.
Yeah.
They're not easily swayed by opinions or assumptions.
Got it.
They want to see the data.
Okay.
The logic, the tangible proof for forming conclusions.
It's like their brains are wired for critical thinking. They want to understand the why behind the what.
Exactly. And that's where their strength lies. They're skilled at cutting through the noise.
Right.
And getting to the heart of the matter.
Right.
Which makes them excellent problem solvers and decision makers.
The book shares a couple of really compelling examples of analytical thinkers in action.
Right.
There's Jose G., who instinctively sees structures and patterns in data.
Okay.
Even before they're fully formed.
Interesting.
It's like he has a built-in radar for spotting trends and connections that others might miss.
It's almost like a sixth sense for data.
Yeah.
And then there's Jack T., who meticulously asks questions to verify the accuracy of claims.
Yeah.
He's not satisfied with surface-level explanations, but wants to dig deeper and understand the underlying logic, which can be invaluable in decision-making and problem-solving.
So if you find yourself constantly questioning assumptions, seeking evidence, and enjoying the process of dissecting information, the analytical talent might be one of your dominant strengths.
What kind of?
Yeah, what kind of actionable tips does the book offer for those with this talent?
One suggestion is to seek roles that allow you to analyze information and find solutions.
Okay.
It's research, data analysis, finance, even investigative journalism.
Right.
Basically any field where critical thinking and data-driven decision-making are valued.
It's about finding a career path.
Exactly.
That allows you to use your analytical superpowers for good.
The book also highlights the importance of finding credible sources of information to support your analysis.
Right.
It's about ensuring that your conclusions are based on solid evidence, not just assumptions or hearsay.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
In a world flooded with information, it's more important than ever to be discerning about our sources and to base our conclusions on solid evidence.
Okay, so we've talked about learners who love acquiring knowledge and analyticals who excel at dissecting that knowledge.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a bit and explore a talent theme that brings a completely different perspective to the table.
Okay.
One that emphasizes the power of human connection and understanding.
You're talking about Rollitors.
Yes.
Right.
Individuals with this theme derive deep satisfaction from building strong, genuine relationships with people they care about. They're not just friendly or outgoing. They genuinely cherish those close connections and find fulfillment in nurturing them.
And the book uses some truly heartwarming examples to illustrate this talent in action. There's the pilot who talks about the importance of trust in close-knit teams, explaining how essential it is to have complete faith in the people you're working with.
That's great.
It highlights how realtors prioritize the human element in any endeavor.
Absolutely.
They understand that strong relationships are the foundation for success and fulfillment.
Absolutely. And then there's the nurse who uses humor to connect with patients and put them at ease, even in a potentially stressful or clinical environment. This nurse found a way to create a sense of warmth and connection using her realtor strength.
It's about making people feel seen and heard, creating that sense of comfort and belonging, no matter the context.
So if you prioritize close relationships, cherish deep conversations, and feel energized by spending quality time
with the people you care about. Realtor might be one of your top talent themes.
What suggestions does the book offer for nurturing this strength?
The book encourages relators to be intentional about getting to know people on a deeper level. It's about going beyond superficial small talk and really taking the time to listen attentively, ask meaningful questions, and show genuine interest in their lives and experiences.
It's about creating a space for authentic connection. And that requires effort and intentionality.
It does.
Especially in a world that often prizes speed and efficiency over genuine human connection.
Another important tip is to prioritize spending quality time with your close circle of friends and family. Thrive on genuine connection. And those close bonds are essential
for their well-being. It's not about having a huge social circle. It's about nurturing those core relationships that bring you joy and support.
So nurture your inner circle. Create space for meaningful conversations. And never underestimate the power of genuine human connection.
That's what it's all about.
That's what realtors are all about. This has been such a fascinating exploration of these first few talent themes. I'm already feeling so much more self-aware and inspired to explore my own strengths.
Awesome.
But I think we've covered a lot of ground for today.
I agree. We've just scratched the surface here. And there are so many more fascinating talents to uncover.
We'll be back for part 2 of our deep dive. Where we'll delve into even more StrengthsFinder insights and actionable strategies for success.
Sounds good.
Until then, start paying attention to those things that come naturally to you. Those things you excel at without even trying. You might just discover hidden talents you never knew you had.
Great advice.
Welcome back to our deep dive into StrengthsFinder 2.0. I'm already feeling so energized by the insights we've uncovered.
Me too.
It's like we're peeling back the layers of our own personalities. And discovering hidden strengths we never even knew we had.
Absolutely.
I'm curious to see what other talents we unearthed today.
Speaking of which, let's shift gears a bit and talk about a talent theme that often plays a crucial role in leadership and decision-making: command.
Well, this one sounds intriguing. What does it mean to have a command talent?
Individuals with this theme naturally take charge. They have a strong presence, aren't afraid of confrontation, and are driven to share their opinions and align others with their vision. They value clarity and directness, sometimes even coming across as blunt or assertive.
That's interesting. So while some people might shy away from confrontation, those with a command talent lean into it.
Exactly. They see confrontation as a way to clarify expectations, address issues head on, and ultimately drive progress.
So it's like,
think of it as a willingness to step up and take the reins, even when things get challenging.
The book gives the example of Malcolm M., a hospitality manager who describes himself as being very candid. Even to the point of intimidating others initially. But then he goes on to say that people eventually appreciate his honesty and decisiveness. It's like they come to trust his directness. Because they know he's not sugarcoating anything.
Exactly. It's not about being harsh or insensitive. It's about being clear, concise, and getting straight to the point. And while this might initially ruffle some feathers, it can ultimately create a sense of trust and direction. Because people know where they stand. There's no ambiguity or guesswork.
The book also mentions Rick P., a retail executive who uses his command talent to implement and enforce company policies. Even when they might not be popular. Like, he understands that sometimes you have to make tough calls for the greater good of the organization.
Individuals with a strong command talent aren't afraid to make those tough decisions. Hold people accountable and ensure fairness across the board. They see it as part of their responsibility to create a structured and efficient environment where everyone understands the rules and expectations.
This all sounds very leadership focused.
It is often associated with leadership.
Okay, so if someone resonates with this take charge mentality, does that automatically mean?
It doesn't necessarily. While the command talent is often associated with leadership, it can be a valuable asset in a variety of roles and contexts. Even if you're not in a formal leadership position, this talent can empower you to speak up, share your ideas, and advocate for what you believe in. The key is to understand how to wield this talent effectively and ensure that you're not unintentionally coming across as domineering or insensitive.
It's about finding that balance between being assertive and being respectful of others' perspectives.
What suggestions?
What suggestions does the book offer for those who identify with the command talent?
The book encourages individuals with this talent to seek roles that allow them to take initiative, make decisions, and drive progress. This could be in a leadership position, but it could also be in a more independent role where you have the autonomy to shape your own work and make an impact.
So environments that value decisiveness, direct communication, and a get things done attitude would be a good fit.
Think startups, turnaround situations, or any environment where quick thinking and bold action are needed.
Got it.
The book also encourages those with this talent to be mindful of their communication style. While honesty and directness are important, it's also crucial to cultivate empathy and learn to deliver feedback in a constructive and supportive way.
That's a great point. It's about finding that balance between being direct and being diplomatic.
So command is all about taking charge, making decisions, and driving progress. It's a powerful talent that can be harnessed for great good, but it also requires self-awareness.
And a willingness to hone your communication skills to ensure that your message is received in the intended way.
So command is all about taking charge, making decisions, driving progress. It's a powerful talent that can be harnessed for great good, but it also requires self-awareness and a willingness to hone your communication skills.
Exactly. It's about understanding the nuances of how this talent operates and using it in a way that empowers both yourself and those around you.
So we've talked about a talent that's often associated with leadership command, but what about a talent that's more about connecting with others, sharing ideas, and making information come alive? You know, that ability to captivate an audience, whether it's through writing, seeping, or simply engaging in conversation.
You're talking about the communication talent, right?
Those with this theme have a natural ability to bring ideas to life.
Oh, this one definitely resonates with me.
Oh, great.
I love finding just the right words to make ideas come alive.
I love that.
It's almost like a compulsion to explain, describe, and share information in a way that connects with others.
That's the essence of communication. The book describes it as the ability to energize ideas, make them exciting and vivid, and really bring them to life for the listener or reader. It's not just about conveying information. It's about making that information memorable and impactful.
The book shares a great example of Diane B., a financial consultant, who talks about her passion for teaching and her natural ability to explain complex financial concepts in a way that people can easily understand. She even uses metaphors and humor.
It's like engaging. Exactly. It's about making those potentially dry or complex topics come alive, creating an experience for the audience that's both informative and enjoyable.
And remember, Dave R., the salesman who uses storytelling and real-life examples to connect with potential clients and persuade them to see his perspective.
It's like he's painting a picture with his words. Drawing people in and making them feel something. Not just think about it.
Precisely. And that's the power of the communication talent. It's about engaging both the mind and the emotions.
Absolutely.
Creating a connection that goes beyond simply transmitting information.
I'm definitely here.
Okay, I'm definitely feeling a strong connection to this talent.
Right.
But I'm also curious, isn't everyone expected to communicate effectively in today's world? I mean, regardless of your profession, you need to be able to articulate your ideas right clearly and engage in productive conversations. So what makes the communication talent unique?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
While effective communication is undoubtedly important for everyone, those with a communication talent possess a natural flair for it.
Okay.
They're not just competent communicators.
Right.
They excel at it.
Yeah.
It comes easily to them.
Right.
And they genuinely enjoy the process of crafting their message, finding the perfect words, and connecting with their audience.
It's like they have that innate ability to weave words into something magical, something that captures attention and inspires action.
Exactly. It's a gift.
Yeah.
And it's one that can be honed and refined over time to create even greater impact.
So someone feels that spark of excitement when they're crafting a presentation, writing a compelling email, or simply having a lively discussion.
Yeah.
They might want to explore whether communication is one of their dominant talents.
What kind of
actionable steps does the book suggest for those with this talent?
The book encourages individuals with a communication talent to seek roles that involve explaining, describing, persuading, and generally engaging others through their words. This could be in fields like teaching journalism, marketing, sales, or even coaching.
It's about finding a platform.
Yes.
Where you can use your words to inform, inspire, and make a difference.
The book also emphasizes the importance of actively practicing your craft. The more you write, speak, and engage in thoughtful conversations, the stronger your communication skills become. It's like a muscle that gets stronger with each rep.
That makes sense. Practice makes progress, right?
Exactly.
So if you have a communication talent, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Share your ideas. And experiment with different forms of expression.
Exactly.
Find your voice. Cultivate it.
Yes.
And use it to connect with the world in meaningful ways.
I love that.
Okay, so we've talked about taking charge with command and captivating audiences with communication. But let's shift gears once again. And explore a talent that's all about creating structure, establishing order, and navigating the world with a sense of purpose and discipline.
You're talking about discipline.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Those with this talent crave predictability and order in their lives.
It's like they have that internal compass that guides their actions and helps them stay focused on their goals.
They thrive on routines, deadlines, and clear expectations.
They're the masters of organization and time management.
Exactly. And it's important to note that this talent isn't necessarily about being rigid or inflexible. It's more about creating a framework that allows them to operate at their best. They might have meticulous to-do lists, color-coded calendars, or elaborate filing systems. But it's not about appearances. It's about creating systems that work for them and help them stay on track.
The book shares the example of Lee, the hospitality manager, who swears by his time management course and his Palm Pilot to stay organized and on track. He even went so far as to lengthen his pants pockets to perfectly fit his Palm Pilot. Talk about dedication.
He was clearly a man who valued efficiency and order. And then there's Troy T., the sales executive who has a meticulously organized, albeit not so pretty filing system that allows him to efficiently manage deadlines and follow-ups with clients.
I love that. It's a reminder that discipline isn't about outward appearances. It's about creating systems that support your workflow and help you achieve your goals.
Exactly. It's about finding what works for you. And creating an environment that fosters focus and productivity.
So if someone resonates with this need for structure and predictability, enjoys creating systems and routines, and finds satisfaction in checking things off their list, discipline might be one of their dominant talents.
What suggestions?
What suggestions does the book offer for leveraging this strength?
The book encourages individuals with a discipline talent to embrace routine and structure.
So
create systems that work for you, whether it's using calendars, to-do lists, project management software, or specific organizational methods.
It's about finding the tools and strategies that help you stay organized.
Exactly.
Manage your time effectively. And maintain a sense of control over your work and your life.
Another important tip is to find roles that offer structure and predictability, environments where processes and deadlines are clearly defined.
So while some people might find routine and structure stifling, those with a discipline talent actually crave it.
Exactly. It's about finding an environment that aligns with your natural tendencies.
It's about playing to your sex.
Yes.
And finding a context where your need for order and predictability is seen as an asset, not a liability.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about taking charge with command, connecting through communication, and creating structure with discipline. These are all incredibly valuable talents.
They are.
But they're also quite distinct in their focus and how they manifest in the world. Let's move on to a talent that brings a more introspective and emotionally intelligent perspective to the table. Empathy. Empathy is all about having the ability to step into someone else's shoes and understand their perspective. Not just intellectually.
But emotionally. It's like having that sixth sense allows you to tune in to the emotional landscape of those around you.
Exactly. And it's a powerful gift, one that allows you to connect with people on a deeper level, build trust, and create a sense of safety and understanding. The book gives a beautiful example of Alice J., an administrator who noticed the unspoken pain of a colleague who felt unheard and dismissed during a meeting. While others might have overlooked this subtle emotional cue, Alice picked up on it.
That's great.
And took the time to connect with her colleague
Awesome.
on a personal level, offering support and validation.
It's about being attuned to those nonverbal cues. The body language, the tone of voice, the subtle shifts in energy that often reveal more than words ever can.
And then there's Brian H.,
an
administrator who encourages his team to actively consider the perspectives and feelings of those they're making decisions about.
I like that.
It's like he's reminding us to step outside of their own bubble and put themselves in the shoes of those who might be impacted by their decisions.
Exactly. It's about fostering a culture of empathy and understanding, encouraging people to move beyond their own self-interest and consider the broader human impact of their actions.
This all sounds incredibly valuable.
It is.
But I'm also wondering, isn't empathy something that can be learned?
That's a great question. And the answer is yes.
Okay.
While some people might have a natural predisposition towards empathy, it's a skill that can be cultivated through conscious effort and practice. The more we actively listen to others, seek to understand their perspectives, and pay attention to those nonverbal cues, the more we develop our capacity for empathy.
So it's not about being born with a certain level of empathy. It's about being willing to develop it over time.
Exactly. It's a muscle that gets stronger with each rep. The more we exercise our empathy muscles,
the more attuned we become to the emotional landscape around us.
What suggestions does the book offer for those who identify with the empathy talent?
The book encourages those with empathy to use their understanding of others' feelings to create a more supportive and harmonious environment. This could involve offering a listening ear, providing words of encouragement, or simply acknowledging the emotions of those around you.
It's about creating a space where people feel safe to express themselves.
Exactly.
And know that they'll be met with understanding and compassion.
Another important tip is to be mindful of how your own emotions might impact those around you. Empathy is a two-way street. Just as you're sensitive to the feelings of others, they're likely picking up on your emotional cues as well.
Right.
So it's about being aware of your own energy.
and ensuring that you're projecting empathy and understanding, not negativity or judgment.
That's a great reminder.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional, about the energy we bring to our interactions, and being mindful of how our own emotions might be influencing those around us.
Yeah, okay. So empathy is all about understanding and connecting with others on an emotional level.
Yeah.
It's a powerful talent that can foster trust, create harmony, and deepen our relationships.
But let's move on to a talent that's more about setting goals, staying focused, and achieving those goals with laser-like precision. Focus.
Oh, yes, focus.
Yes.
This talent is all about having a clear destination in mind and relentlessly pursuing it, filtering out distractions, and staying laser-focused on the goal. Individuals with this talent have an internal compass
that guides their decisions and actions.
They're not easily swayed by shiny objects or fleeting interests.
They know what they want. And they go after it with unwavering determination.
The book describes them as having that ability to zoom in on their target and block out all the noise around them.
And they're not afraid to say no to things that don't align with their goals. They understand that focus is about prioritizing what's truly important and letting go of the rest.
The book shares a great example of Nick H., a computer executive who's so focused on efficiency that he plays a round of golf.
Oh, wow.
In 2.5 hours. And used to conduct reviews of entire divisions in just 15 minutes.
Wow.
Talk about maximizing time.
He clearly had a laser-like focus on getting things done. And then there's Brad F.,
the sales executive who strategically groups similar tasks together to minimize distractions and stay on track with his priorities.
It's about creating systems and strategies that support your natural tendency towards focus.
So if someone finds themselves...
So if someone finds themselves constantly setting goals, making lists, prioritizing tasks, and ruthlessly eliminating distractions, they might have a strong focus talent.
What tips?
What tips does the book offer for harnessing this superpower?
The book encourages individuals with this talent to set clear goals with specific timelines and measurements. This creates a roadmap for success and allows you to track your progress, which can be incredibly motivating.
It's about breaking down those large, daunting goals into smaller, more achievable steps.
Another important tip is to seek roles that allow you to work independently and with minimal distractions, environments that offer quiet, dedicated workspaces, and a culture that values deep work would be ideal.
So while some people thrive in bustling, collaborative environments, those with a strong focus talent might prefer a quieter, more structured setting where they can really hone in on their work.
Exactly. It's about understanding your natural tendencies and finding an environment that supports your preferred work style. And while focus can be a powerful driver of success, it's also important to be mindful of the bigger picture and the needs of those around you. Sometimes too much focus can lead to tunnel vision. And we might miss important details.
Expert. Welcome back to our deep dive into StrengthsFinder 2.0. It's amazing how much we've already uncovered about these unique talents that drive us. I'm eager to explore even more.
It really is fascinating, isn't it? It's like we have this whole internal landscape of strengths that we often take for granted. But once we bring them into conscious awareness, it's like a whole new world of possibilities opens up.
Absolutely. So where do we go next on our talent treasure hunt? Which talent are we unearthing today?
Let's talk about futuristic. Individuals with this theme are absolutely captivated by the possibilities of the future. They're the visionaries, the dreamers, the ones who inspire us with their ability to see what could be.
That sounds incredibly inspiring. So while some people might get bogged down in the day-to-day, Those with a futuristic talent are already envisioning what lies beyond the horizon.
Exactly. They have this innate ability to see beyond the present and paint a vivid picture of what the future might hold. And this isn't just about wishful thinking. They often have a very clear and detailed vision of what they want to create, and they're driven to make that vision a reality.
The book describes them as having this detailed picture of the future that keeps pulling them forward. It's like their internal compass is always pointing towards what's next, what's possible.
Right. And this ability to envision a better future is a powerful source of motivation, not just for themselves, but for those around them. Their enthusiasm is contagious. They can rally people around a shared vision and inspire them to work towards a common goal.
The book shares an example of Michael B., a product designer, who describes himself as always looking ahead, envisioning how products could be improved or even reinvented. It's like he can't help but see the potential for innovation and progress, even in the most mundane objects.
It's that ability to see possibilities where others might see limitations. And it's not limited to tangible products. This talent can apply to systems, ideas, even social structures. They're always looking for ways to make things better, to create a more positive and fulfilling future.
I love that. It's like having that optimistic lens that allows you to see the world through the eyes of possibility. The book also mentions that the author, Tom Rath, actually identifies futuristic as one of his own dominant talents. He talks about how he's always been drawn to imagining a better world and finding ways to make those visions a reality.
It's amazing how this talent can be a driving force behind innovation and progress. Think about the inventors, the entrepreneurs, the social activists who have shaped our world. Many of them were likely driven by a strong futuristic talent, that burning desire to create something new, something better, something that would make a positive impact on the world.
Okay, so if someone is a natural dreamer, thrives on brainstorming new ideas, gets excited about emerging trends, and feels restless with the status quo, they might want to consider whether futuristic is one of their dominant talents. What suggestions does the book offer for those who identify with this talent?
The book emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with people who share your enthusiasm for the future and are eager to put those visions into action. It's about finding collaborators, supporters, and mentors who can help you turn those dreams into tangible plans and make them a reality.
It's about building a team of like-minded individuals who can fuel your inspiration and provide the practical support you need to bring those visions to life.
Another important tip is to actively seek out information and inspiration that fuels your imagination. Read about emerging trends, attend conferences, engage in thought-provoking conversations, even explore creative mediums like art, music, or film. Anything that sparks those creative synapses and keeps your mind open to new possibilities.
It's about keeping that fire of inspiration burning brightly. So nurture your visions, surround yourself with supportive collaborators, and keep feeding your mind with new ideas and perspectives. That's how you harness the power of the futuristic talent.
Exactly. It's about turning those dreams into reality, one step at a time.
Okay, so we've talked about envisioning the future with futuristic. But what about those who are more focused on the present moment? Those who get a thrill from generating new ideas and making unexpected connections. You know, those aha moments when seemingly disparate concepts suddenly click into place and create something new and innovative.
You're talking about ideation, right? Those with this talent are fascinated by ideas, by the spark of creativity that ignites new possibilities. They love brainstorming, exploring different perspectives, and challenging conventional wisdom.
The book describes individuals with this talent as being fascinated by the best explanation, the new perspective, the bizarre. It's like their minds are constantly searching for those unique connections that others might miss.
Exactly. They see patterns where others see chaos. They can connect the dots in a way that seems almost magical, drawing insights from seemingly unrelated sources and weaving them together into something new and innovative.
The book highlights how this talent can manifest in a variety of ways. There's Mark B., the writer, who describes himself as a collector of ideas, constantly jotting down thoughts and observations in his notebook. He finds inspiration everywhere, in everyday conversations, in nature, even in the mundane details of life.
It's like their minds are always working, even when they're not consciously trying to generate ideas. And then there's Anne C., the marketing director, who thrives on the challenge of brainstorming and coming up with innovative solutions to problems. She loves bringing people together, fostering a collaborative environment where ideas can flow freely and unexpected connections can be made.
It's like she creates that fertile ground where creativity can blossom. So if someone loves brainstorming, gets energized by new challenges, enjoys playing with ideas and making those unexpected connections, ideation might be one of their dominant talents. What suggestions does the book offer for cultivating this creative energy?
The book encourages individuals with ideation to schedule dedicated time for thinking and brainstorming. It's about carving out space in your day to let your mind wander, explore those rabbit holes of curiosity, and make those unexpected connections.
It's like giving yourself permission to play with ideas, to explore without judgment, and see where your curiosity leads you.
Another important tip is to expose yourself to a variety of ideas and perspectives. Read widely, attend lectures, engage in conversations with people from different backgrounds, explore different cultures and disciplines. The more diverse your input, the more fertile ground you create for those creative sparks to ignite.
It's like feeding your mind with a rich tapestry of experiences and perspectives, creating a vibrant ecosystem where new ideas can take root and flourish.
Exactly. It's about embracing that curiosity, nurturing your creativity, and creating the conditions that allow those aha moments to emerge.
Okay, so we've talked about dreaming big with futuristic and sparking new ideas with ideation. But let's bring it back to those heart-centered connections with a talent theme we explored earlier. Relator.
Ah, yes. Relator. Individuals with this talent find deep satisfaction in building strong, genuine relationships with the people they care about. They prioritize authenticity, intimacy, and those one-on-one connections that create a sense of belonging and shared understanding.
We talked earlier about how relators prioritize the human element in all their interactions. But I'm curious to hear more about the nuances of this talent. What are some of the key characteristics that distinguish relators from other relationship-oriented individuals?
Well, while many people enjoy socializing and connecting with others, relators crave a deeper level of intimacy and understanding in their relationships. They're not satisfied with superficial small talk. They want to truly connect with people on a soul level, to understand their values, their dreams, their fears.
They want to know what makes people tick.
Exactly. And they're not afraid to be vulnerable and share their own thoughts and feelings in return. This creates a sense of trust and reciprocity that allows for truly authentic connections to form.
The book offers some beautiful examples of how this talent plays out in real life. There's the pilot who talks about the importance of trust in close-knit teams, emphasizing how vital it is to have complete faith in the people you're working with. It highlights how realtors prioritize the human element in any endeavor, understanding that strong relationships are the foundation for success and fulfillment.
And then there's the nurse who uses humor to connect with patients and put them at ease, even in a potentially stressful or clinical setting. It's about using those realtor strengths, empathy, warmth, genuine connection, to create a sense of comfort and trust, even in challenging situations.
It's about making people feel seen and heard, understood, and valued. So if someone prioritizes those close, meaningful relationships, cherishes deep conversations, and feels energized by spending quality time with people they care about, realtor might be one of their dominant talents. What suggestions does the book offer for nurturing this strength?
The book encourages relators to be intentional about getting to know people on a deeper level. Ask meaningful questions, listen attentively, and show genuine interest in their lives and experiences. It's about creating a space for authentic connection, for those heartfelt conversations that allow true understanding to blossom.
It's about slowing down, resisting the urge to fill every silence with chatter, and really taking the time to listen, to observe, and to connect on a deeper level.
Another important tip is to prioritize spending quality time with your closest friends and family. Nurture those core relationships that bring you joy, support, and a sense of belonging. Remember, it's not about the quantity of your relationships. It's about the quality.
It's about choosing to invest your time and energy in those relationships that truly matter, those that nourish your soul and bring a sense of richness and depth to your life.
Exactly. It's about creating a life that's rich in authentic connections and meaningful relationships.
Wow, we've covered so much ground in this deep dive. It's incredible how much we can learn about ourselves simply by exploring these talent themes and understanding how they shape our perceptions, our actions, and our interactions with the world.
It's been a truly fascinating journey, and I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to delve deeper into their own strengths and discover the unique ways in which their talents are driving their success and fulfillment.
I couldn't agree more. So to our listener, we challenge you to take this knowledge and apply it to your own life. Pay attention to those things that come naturally to you, those things you excel at without even trying. Explore your dominant talent themes and consider taking the StrengthsFinder assessment to gain even deeper insights. Remember, your greatest potential lies not in fixing your weaknesses, but in amplifying your strengths.
And remember, the examples we've shared are just a starting point. Each person expresses their talents in unique and beautiful ways. The key is to become aware of your own patterns, to understand how your talents are shaping your experiences, and to leverage them consciously to create a life that feels both fulfilling and aligned with your true self.
We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and empowered you to embrace your strengths with renewed enthusiasm and purpose. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep shining brightly.